back to, you were talking about John Force earlier. We were, and you know, to go through something like that. I mean, to have an explosion like that, to where it blows that car off the ground and sideways, and bounces off both walls a couple times and everything. And yeah, it knocked him out. But obviously he didn't have any concussions or any of that. And more or less walked away out of the hospital within a few hours, you know. That says a lot about the safety of these cars. To go 300, well, a funny car goes almost 340 miles an hour now at 1,000 feet. And they're built with all the safety stuff and everything, they're built to withstand them kind of incidents. You know, as racers, we complain about having to buy some of that stuff, spend money on it and all that. We know it's for our own good. But in the long run, we know it's going to be better. So we just grin and bear it.
Right. So let me ask you this, Keith. Throughout your drag racing career, have you had any accidents or near accidents?
No, you know, other than the fire, I've never had a crash. Knock on wood again. I've had a few bad fires. I've had 3 really bad fires that I would call really bad fires. Otherwise, you know, nothing major. When I first started driving, we had, back in those days, we didn't have the billet rear ends that we have now, the big 10.5, 12-inch rear ends and everything. They were just 9-inch Ford rear ends. They were beefed up housings and stuff, but they'd break from time to time. We had one break and a wheel and a tire came off when we were racing in Canada one time. That's probably my worst experience other than the fires.
Okay, so with this High Heaven Funny car, what's been the fastest pass you made with it?
You know, the quickest and fastest I've gone so far is 620 at 225, I believe, up here at Banner last year. That was the first full run we made on it. We've only raced one time since then. It was the 8th mile track. So I look forward to going to some other races and stuff this year just to see what we can do and all that. Like I say, I'm still learning with this car. They're difficult to tune than the other funny cars are. They're definitely different to tune than a big show car. And but you know, it's like one of the first things my dad asked me last year when we ran that good was he said, "Well, how does that feel?" You know, and you know, I've gone 310 miles an hour, and I told him, I said, "Man, that thing's slow." You know, but it still went 225 mile an hour, but so it just takes some getting used to and all that. But I look forward to running probably 250 miles an hour maybe at sea level with this car.
Okay. Now we're at the fun portion. Questions. Are you ready for the fun questions now?
Yep.
If someone were to give you $200 million and they're like, Keith, build me a drag race track, where would you want to build the drag race track, and what kind of features would you want to put into the track?
Oh boy, 200 million. I don't know. You know, it seems like a lot of money. It might not be enough. You know, you look at some of these tracks that Bruton Smith has built here lately, and it's like, man, I don't know if that's enough money, but you know, I don't know. There's a lot of places. There's a lot of places I haven't been that I'd kind of like to go and stuff. One place that I have been that would be probably pretty awesome to build another high-class drag strip would be in Australia. You know, they got a pretty nice one over there right now. The $200 million, I could probably build a pretty nice one over there. None of the 4-lane stuff, I'm not big on that deal. Make it all concrete like Dallas kind of thing, and I don't know. You think maybe some guys think, well, we need an enclosed drag strip and this and that. And, you know, Australia, the weather's nice all the time over there. You want to enjoy the weather while you're out racing. part of going racing is because you got to have nice weather. So I don't know, probably just a lot of the basic stuff. I would say, maybe make it more kid friendly with like playgrounds and stuff like that. I've always been big on the kids and all that. Obviously, my kid's pretty grown up now, but taking your kids to the racetrack and watching races, they like it when the cars race, but when they're not racing, they get bored real easy. So they need to have something to do, build playgrounds or build little mini drag strips so they can go race while they're waiting for the big show cars to get ready to race again. Something like that, would be kind of cool.
Yeah. So, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing, Keith?
I don't really. I mean, I got a couple little ones. I like to paint. I've always been involved with painting my own cars, doing the lettering and the pinstriping. Airbrush. I love airbrushing. Like headlights and taillights, murals, stuff like that. A lot of people don't know it, but I've built a lot of my cars. I do a lot of chassis work and stuff, front halves, complete cars, whatever. Those are kind of hobbies of mine. It's always something to do with racing, with motorsports. Other things, I like to go bowling and play pool and stuff like that, but it's kind of harder, my kid's growing up now, so we don't do as much of that kind of stuff. We do more of the grown-up stuff and all that, but as far as hobbies, probably just fabricating and welding stuff.
Okay. Now, throughout your career, have you won any trophies for drag racing?
Oh, yeah, trophies quite a few. Probably, in all honesty, probably one of my biggest accomplishments is and I don't usually brag about it, but I kind of like to brag about it because last year or 2 years ago, I believe it was last year, Chris Crable became only the third driver to ever do it. That was to win the Night Fire Nationals in Boise for the fourth time, I believe it is. And the only other two people to ever do that was me and John Force. And so I got trophies and plaques from that. That's kind of a big accomplishment to me, It's not on a big scale like some of these other guys as far as winning a Wally or something, but a lot of plaques and some trophies and stuff, but just a lot of memories, racing with a lot of friends, a lot of people that I've met through racing, friends and other racers. That means more to me than any trophy ever could, but the trophies are nice and the money's nice.
Okay, so since you've been doing the nostalgia thing, who's been your greatest competitor out there?
Unfortunately, we haven't raced that much with the nostalgia car. There's quite a few guys. John Hale is always, I've kind of looked up to him in the nostalgia deal. They've always run really good. He's a friend of mine. The one bad Texan car, we got to race him that was the first time I got to race him, was in Denton last year in first round. Unfortunately, he did a wheel stand and had some handling problems, and I beat him. Otherwise, he would have beat me for sure. But that was a big thing to me to race him. I would like to race like Jason Rupert. He's a friend of mine. I'd like to race someone like that, but obviously I need to get a better running race car before I do that. But when that time comes, I'll definitely be ready.
Right. So let me ask you this one: what's your favorite food to eat?
Probably Mexican food. A lot of people don't realize it or know it, but Colorado probably has some of out of all the country that I've been to, every place in the United States I've been, Colorado probably has some of the best green chili and Mexican food in the country. So I've always been around it. Javier, one of the guys who works on my car, he's a Mexican guy, so we got to go have Mexican food once in a while, and it's just always been a favorite of mine. Now, my kid, on the other hand, he's a big Taco Bell nut. I don't really consider that Mexican food, but hey, each his own, you know.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite beverage?
Probably Mountain Dew out of everything. A nice cold Coors Light once in a while after the races is nice, but as far as soda, Mountain Dew, I've got a sweet tooth for Mountain Dew, I guess. But I try to drink a lot of water during the races and stuff because you get dehydrated and stuff. Try not to drink soda and everything at the racetrack. A lot of times we don't even have it. We'll have water and beer, and that's pretty much it at the races. But a nice Mountain Dew at the end of the day, nice cold Mountain Dew is pretty good.
Okay, so what's your favorite music?
I like pretty much everything except for most rap. I don't really care for. There's some Eminem stuff, some of that kind of stuff I'm okay with, but I've kind of big into the alternative stuff now. I like classic rock, heavy metal, minimal country music, but probably pretty partial to the classic rock and the alternative rock right now.
So, who's your favorite metal band of all time?
Just probably. I don't know if a lot of people would consider a metal band or not. Probably one of my favorite bands of all time is Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen is just one of the. He just does some incredible things with a guitar, and a lot of that stuff he's just made up on his own and everything. And I've always liked him. It's kind of my go-to music when I'm trying to get hyped up to go make a run or something. I'll sit in the van and listen to that most of the time.
So now, if people want to find your schedule, what's the best way for them to find it online?
I don't have it online just yet. Probably be up there within the next week. If you go on Facebook, we don't have an actual web page yet. If you go on Facebook, that's just under Jackson Racing. We have a Facebook page, and then I have my own Facebook page under my name. And but we'll have the schedule on that. I'll post it on Jackson Racing, and then I'll share it on mine and a couple other sites.
Okay.
And we should have that up probably within the next week.
Okay, sounds good. So, any last words for the fans listening in?
I appreciate everybody that comes to watch these races. I know it takes a lot of money, a lot of dedication. It's a lot of work to take a family and kids and stuff to go to a race to watch your favorite racer or whatever. But that's really what most of us do it for, is for the fans and for the kids. To be able to stand out there you say at the ropes, but a lot of the nostalgia guys don't even have ropes at their trailer like they do at big races. But to be able to stand there and sign pictures for a kid or a dad or a mom or whatever to sign your autograph and see the look on their face and they look up to you, that's a pretty big thing for most racers, I believe. And we appreciate it. I know I do, and I know probably every racer out there really appreciates that. Pretty much what keeps us all going a lot of times.
Okay, sounds good, Keith. I want to thank you for your time for the interview.
You bet. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. You have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Stay on the line.